Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the online version of sixth grade English. I hope you've all had a good spring break and that you're staying sane and safe during this coronavirus pandemic. So, this is going to be a learning experience for all of us. So, I'm going to lay out a few ground rules first of all. On Google Classroom, you guys are free to post things that are related to the class. If you have questions, if you have anything that you want feedback on, anything like that, feel free to post, but don't just spam the chat. I like memes and funny videos as much as anybody. Send it to me privately if you find something that you think's funny. If you find something that you're not sure if you can share, like a link to a YouTube video or something, send it to me and ask me. But don't just, post things and blow up the chat. Make sure it stays relevant to the class. That way we can keep it kind of streamlined and it's not congested with a whole bunch of nonsense. So again, if you're not sure, run it by me. That gets kind of into the communication aspect. Make sure anything that you do communication wise is clean. It's stuff that you wouldn't mind your parents seeing. That should go without saying. Treat it just like it's in a classroom setting. You can communicate obviously in a form where everyone can see it, and I can give you feedback. Your classmates can give you feedback. You can also send private messages to me and I believe to other students as well. I don't think I can see the messages you send to other students, but still don't send anything crazy. Um, that should be about it as far as ground rules, I would think. So, first big order of business is your essay has been pushed back 1 week. Okay, the Bronze Bow final draft, I want it next Friday, not this Friday. I'm giving you guys some time to get used to the whole online situation. So, that's a little bit of extra time. So you should have been working on it a little bit over spring break. Hopefully, this gives you some more time to do that. Still want at least 3 in-text citations, 1 per body paragraph. You should have your rough drafts with you with all of my feedback. If you ever need any more, obviously, you can email me, ask me on Google Classroom, whatever works for you. Now, on to how we're going to do assignments and things in this class moving forward. So, some days, most days, we'll have a video. Not every day, some days won't need it. We've been told to keep them 15 minutes or less. Mine are probably going to trend shorter than that. I would assume, maximum 10 minutes most days. Occasionally, I might have something that stretches a little bit longer. Some days I'll have videos that are maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but always watch the video if it's posted. They should be up around 8 every morning or so. Assignments are going to be done a couple of different ways. Some days we'll have a discussion question where you'll respond and type up your answer and I'll go through and read it. Some days, we won't necessarily have an assignment. We'll have kind of an "Are you here" thing like we had yesterday. I noticed a lot of you wanted to leave comments on that yesterday and say, like, "I am here, here." You don't have to do that. Just click the little box that says yes, and I can see that you've responded. That's all I need. And I take attendance through that. Some days I won't have that. I'll have an actual assignment that you'll work on where you'll go through it. It might be multiple choice. It might be, again, a short answer type discussion question. I might have you respond to a question I ask in the video. I can go from that, and in RenWeb you'll see CI for that day, which is checked in. You're not physically in attendance, but it's the way we keep up with our attendance. So I need you to do that. Every day there will be something that you have to do so that I can know that you logged into the class, you did whatever I asked, so on and so forth. Some days, like I said, the question may come from the video, and I may not type out the question. I may ask a question in my video, and I may say, question response. And if you haven't watched the video, you don't know what to respond to. So you have to watch the video every day. Again, they're not very long. So keep up with that. As far as tests and quizzes, there's not going to be a lot. Okay, so we're obviously going to have a major test grade with the final draft of the essay, which I'll probably open submissions for that later this week on Turnitin if you want to go ahead and start submitting it. And you can submit as many times as you want up until 11:59 p.m. next Friday, which, let me check, next Friday's date is the 3rd of April. Okay, so that'll be the final due date for the Bronze Bow. So make sure on your MLA formatting, 3 April 2020. Back to tests and quizzes, we will get a test grade out of that essay. That might be the last major essay we do, depending on how long we're out for this. I'm not going to try to do a research paper with you guys over a long distance thing. I might talk about research papers, and we might do a little bit with that, but a full-length research paper with multiple sources without me able to give really hands-on feedback is going to be difficult, okay? Like I said, I might post a multiple choice quiz sometimes based on something we've read or based on vocab, but everything's pretty much going to be open book. I have no way of keeping you honest and saying, look, don't use your book for this. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on you. Just know that most things in this will be daily grades. Occasionally quizzes, probably not much in the way of tests. If I find some way of giving you tests that I think is reasonable, we'll talk about that down the road, but for now, don't expect many. You will need, obviously, some materials for the class. This is going to be big. We're going to focus a lot on vocab. This week in particular, we're going to ease into things. We're only doing vocab. We're going to do Unit 9 this week. And I'll talk about that more tomorrow when we start it. We're not actually starting the lessons, the actual material of the class until tomorrow. But you will need this heavily, okay? We might do a unit a week. We're not obviously not going to have tests, but we might have quizzes. We will have the assignments from the book. I think I can format them in a way that you can do them through Google Classroom, and I can get the grades from that. We will probably have, choosing the right word tomorrow, synonyms and antonyms the next day, so on and so forth. And I know for some of you guys, you don't have me tomorrow, you have me Thursday. So just assume I mean the next day in the class schedule. But we will need this. We will use this a ton. This is the thing that I think I can get the closest to what we were doing in the classroom. You'll have videos of me reading and pronouncing the words. You'll have videos where I give you sentences, talk about parts of speech and things like that for different words on different days. And then again, you'll go in and do assignments, and from those I'll get grades. We can keep this pretty close to what we were doing in class. I think we can get a lot done with this. Shirley is going to be a little bit harder. We will need this. We'll probably start on the next chapter of Shirley next week. I think we're going to be in chapter 11, but don't quote me on that just yet. We will do some assignments. I'll figure out some ways to do things online. It'll probably involve you typing up sentences. I may, write down little charts and post pictures of certain things to give you examples. Also, if you don't have the vocab book, I'm going to take pictures of the definitions and sentences for the unit that we're on at that time. I'll upload them. So if you don't have your vocab book for some reason, you're fine. The exercises, like I said, I'm going to make them online. So don't worry about it if you don't have your book. This, though, you will need most likely. We'll go through, things like parts of speech that get introduced, types of sentences, all that sort of thing. But you will absolutely need this. We will do the best we can with it. If somebody needs some extra help, we'll deal with that later on, because I know this is probably the thing that's the most difficult in this class. But we'll work with that. Just make sure you have this book. And you guys will also need your Pearl book. Yours is different than mine. It's hardback, not spiral. But we will probably start poetry some next week and get into that a little bit more heavily. That, again, it's something that I'm glad we kind of introduced throughout the year, so you guys have some context for things like rhyme, scheme, and meter, because that's really difficult to introduce if I hadn't already talked about it a bit. If you're still kind of unsure and rocky on those things, it's okay. I will do my best to explain them. I'll post some things explaining that you can go back and read through. I'll have some videos maybe where I read something and talk about it. And you can obviously post and ask questions and get feedback. But make sure you've got this. We're going to use this some too. But the biggest thing we're going to focus on while we're doing things online is vocab, because I think that's the thing that I can approximate the most to what I actually did in class. As far as if you ever need more help on something, which I would anticipate maybe with Shirley, maybe with poetry and things like that when we start it, maybe with this essay before it's due next Friday. If you need individual one-on-one help, let me know, because most of the time I'm not going to do anything live. I'm going to pre-record a video, I'm going to upload it. You can watch it, you can ask questions, give feedback, whatever you want to do. Very rarely am I going to do something live, because I'm not expecting you to be online at the exact same time that I am every single day. That's ridiculous from home. It's hard to do. But if you need extra help, if you need one-on-one help, or maybe a small group of you need help, get in touch with me. We'll set up something. I think we can do it through Google Classroom. If not, we'll find another platform we can use, and we can have a live chat. I can explain things to you. I can answer questions in more detail. Anything that you think that you need extra feedback on, if you need to have a live conversation with me, just let me know. We'll set up a time. Like I said, you can always private message me if you just want to do it through text. I know the whole video thing is awkward. This is really awkward for me if you can't tell. I think that's about it. If you guys can think of anything else you have questions about, just let me know. I'll answer as soon as I can. I will be pretty active answering things throughout the day. If you message me at 10:20 at night, and most of the times I'm in bed by 10, I probably won't answer it until the next morning, but usually nothing that urgent. Assignments that are posted will almost always be due midnight of the day they're posted. Again, so I have that check-in that you did it that day. So you do have to keep up with that. We've been told, keep everything fairly limited. Like I said, videos 15 minutes or less, assignments 30 minutes or less. So you're talking about 45 total minutes for your classes each day. If you assume, 4 major academic classes, that comes out to 3 hours a day of actual school work. And that's assuming that your teachers go to that maximum of 15 and 30 every time, which they won't. Most days, like I said, mine's going to be like a 7 or 8 minute video and then a 15 to 20 minute assignment. But assuming you work that 3 hours every day, most days you're in school for 7 hours. So you're going to have a lot of free time. Stay sane, do things to keep yourself in a good mindset. Go outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise. Wash your hands, though. Don't leave your home. Don't go around and explore the city of Tuscaloosa. Take this thing seriously. But again, get outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise. You're going to laugh at me, but read a book, do something productive. I know a lot of you are going to sit around and watch YouTube and Netflix and play video games, and that's fine. Do that some. You've got this extra time. I'm going to do that some. But do things that are also productive. You keep in mind, like I said, 7 hours a day at school, not counting homework and studying, versus the 3 hours you're having to invest now. Do something to make up for that. Okay. Stay safe. If you ever need me for anything, let me know. I'm always available. Like I said, and from 10 a.m., I mean, from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., pretty much you can get in touch with me. Sometimes outside of that, just let me know. And I will see you guys.